Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. It's your weekly car talk show, In Wheel Time. Coming up, Conrad will have the car clinic and also a bonus this half hour.
What?
With the This Week in Auto History. Yeah, baby. And we'll have this week's Automotive News. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, who just stepped out for a moment to call Verizon going,
troubleshooting.
Yeah, troubleshooting.
We pay for all this internet. How come we're not getting it?
Yeah, there's that. So along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zegan.
Yep, we do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this cold, windy, blustery day here.
It is. It's
Houston,
chilly.
Texas. It is a little bit
Heard
chilly.
the wind howling this morning. Woo.
Yeah, when the thing, I guess about 3 or 4 o'clock, the cold front came through.
You could hear it blow through up at my house. Solid 30-mile-an-hour wind.
But it's good sleeping weather. I
think that what we ought to do is start this segment with This Week in Auto History.
Okay.
Are you good with that?
I'm great.
Because,
with it.
I have to tell you that just by the title, it's like, but it's always good. I like listening
I
to
try
it.
and find good pieces that kind of fit, some with a bit of a Texas flair. We'll have a little Texas flair to start here.
Okay, let's go.
So
put some sauce on it.
In 1901, and a lot of people are going to recognize this picture, a drilling derrick in Spindletop Hill near Beaumont, Texas, produces an enormous gusher of crude oil, coating the landscapes for hundreds of feet with crude oil as it goes squirting out. The geyser was discovered at the depth of 1,000 feet and flowed at 100,000 barrels a day, and it took 9 days to cap. So it puked out about 1 million barrels of oil on the ground before
Think about
they
that
finally
for a
capped
minute.
it.
Think about that. 1 million barrels, and it just did it on its own once they
From the ground pressure.
punctured that hole. Right. Yep.
So kind of the start of the oil industry.
Yeah.
In 1904, and of course, I've got to go there, Ransom Eli Oldsmobile retired from Oldsmobile Motor Works. Actually, he was kicked out. Oldsmobile was the most profitable vehicle back in the early 1900s with the tiller-steered runabout, curve dash pictured here. Oldsmobile was Ransom Olds was approached by the head of his engineering department, a guy named Henry Leland, who had designed a lighter and more powerful engine that could improve the drivability of the runabout. Ransom Olds refused to use the new engine, and it got him kicked out of Oldsmobile. And if you know the name Henry Leland, he was such a good engineer, he went and started Cadillac. With that engine.
Yeah. Do you think how much are they going to get with? Is there used a pre-owned on that?
I don't know. You have to do a piece on it. In 1924, Walter Chrysler, who was also a General Motors executive at the time, left General Motors and pioneered the introduction of the all-steel-bodied Chrysler products. And in 1924, he purchased. We just go.
Still
okay.
going. Just keep
Don't
going.
worry about
Keep
it.
going.
He purchased Maxwell Company, and Chrysler took over Maxwell, who eventually became Chrysler Corporation, and they introduced their first vehicle in 1925. The Maxwell Motor Company again became Chrysler. In 1980, Jimmy Carter signed a bill authorizing the $1.2 billion federal bailout of Chrysler Corporation. And that was at the hands of Lee Iacocca. And Lee Iacocca did a great job and actually paid all of that back before the time that they were supposed to. And then in 2009, General Motors said, "Hold my beer. Let me show you how big a bailout we need." In 1985, Saturn was founded, and as Saturn was, and we're going to keep showing you the Oldsmobile runabout here, but Saturn was founded in 1985.
The people listening and not watching So you don't have to worry about
And
that.
then in 1989, Dodge showed the Viper as a show car at the North American International.
What year was
Automobile
that,
Show.
89?
89.
Wow.
And the Viper, a modernized tribute to the classic Shelby Cobra, won such rave reviews that the company delivered a production model in 1992, from show car to production in 1992, just 3 years later. And the Viper is just a historic car to me in the automotive world, because
It's a beast.
the early years, the Viper was all engine and no brains.
V10.
Yep.
And absolutely no kind of traction control, no nothing.
No analog brakes.
No.
None of the smart technology that you see on today's cars were on that car, and just an absolute.
That car
screaming
was scary.
beast.
I remember they had one in the press fleet, and I was.
Did they really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a mistake.
No, well, to one person that turned it over and upside down, and they had to take it back and crush it. But that was an anomaly, as they like to say. But I will say that the car that I had, holy Toledo, the torque that V10 turned out, and it had a 6-speed manual transmission in it, and
The Tremec 660.
it was unbelievable.
And tires as wide as they made at the time.
Correct. That they could fit underneath that car. It was unbelievable. It was like a great big, huge go-kart. And you could lose that car just like that. It is bad. So,
And then in 1996, General Motors announced that it would release its first electric car, the EV1, if you remember the EV1. You know, the original name of that car was the Impact. Probably not a good name for a vehicle, a car, to call it the Impact, but General Motors had announced it, and they actually...
well, it wasn't with an I, it was an M.
Yeah, but still.
PAC, I think, or something.
And then they did release it, but it was only done on a lease buyback program. And then when the lease buyback was concluded, General Motors tried to collect all of them, probably collected a majority of them, and actually destroyed them, which is a shame. There are a number of them that are still out there in a few collections.
That
Jay
was
Leno has
one ugly car.
Yep, but it was the first run at a true EV, and that had lead acid batteries in it. So you're talking about like your normal car battery was all underneath the vehicle. It was quite heavy vehicle.
You know who had one of those as a demo? Dan Patrick, my buddy Dan.
Oh, really?
Lieutenant Dan. Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. Lieutenant
I've
Dan.
never put those two names together, but that's funny.
Well, it is, and he enjoys being called Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Texas.
Great man.
Yeah, and he had one, and I told him, I said, Dan, I don't think I've ever seen an uglier car. He says, yeah, it doesn't quite have the appeal that we were quite, expecting, because it was, and it had those what I would call fender skirts. It did, and they weren't real fender skirts. It's just that they managed to bring the back wheel wells down over the wheel, and it was just, what?
Oh yeah.
So ugly.
The way that they had hooded it, and then the front end. To me, looking at it, it seemed like the front end was wider than the rear end, kind of Citroenish.
Yes.
in its look, which I understand what a Citroen is, but it is an ugly car. I'm sorry for all you Citroen aficionados out there. I don't think you have to have a French personality.
You're not
to
telling
like
them anything that they don't already know. I promise you. I'm sorry that when I first saw a Citroen, however you want to call it, it has an OEN in the back of it, but it is French, and it's like, that thing is ugly, man, because the rear wheels had a smaller wheelbase than the front.
on purpose.
It was just,
But pretty, very high technology for its day, because it had a pneumatic ride.
Was it the 60s?
Yeah, early 60s actually.
Cool.
And that same body style they sold well into the early 2000s.
Yes.
But it had a pneumatic ride, so it would go up and down with the road and lower itself. Pretty kind of
All
a
I can
high-tech
see
car.
is an older, middle-aged guy with a cardigan sweater with leather patches on the elbows, smoking a pipe.
Jeff resembles that remark.
Yeah, today he does. Yeah, most definitely. So if you're wondering what's happened, if you're watching, wondering what's happening, we don't know what's happening because we can't get this car off the screen, but we still have audio. So why don't we just continue on and let's do the Conrad's Car Clinic while we're at it, while we're on a roll.
Well, we're on a roll. Well, let's. Today we're going to talk about how do rain sensor wipers work.
How do they work? Is
Very,
it an
very well.
Is it an eyeball up on the dash?
It's actually an infrared light that goes behind the mirror mount on the windshield. So for several decades, windshield wipers, you can get a high or a low speed, or if you go back further enough, when windshield wipers were vacuum operated, there we go. When windshield wipers were vacuum operated, as the vehicle would speed up and slow down, the wipers would change speeds. Generally, there was just one speed, and then you had a high speed and a low speed, and then you had intermittent wipers, and now the latest technology is automatic rain sensor wipers.
Well, I have to tell you, I've got to interject here. By 1954, Chevrolet 3/4-ton pickup truck with the Blue Flame 6, it had vacuum-operated wipers. And if you did anything with the accelerator pedal, like trying to go forward, the wipers would stop. And in a rainstorm, it was a little problematic.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, now with rain sensor wipers, the rain sensor wipers turn on when the precipitation or another obstruction is on the windshield, and the wipers engage all on their own, and the frequency of the swipes is adjusted based on how the infrared light is interfered with.
It bothers me.
The rain sensing, you don't like that?
Yes, no, I don't. Because it comes on at the most odd times, and then it won't wipe when it's supposed to wipe.
Well, they're mounted on the windshield, usually very close to the rear view base of the rear view mirror. This sensor is using that infrared light to project through the windshield at a specific angle, and then the reflection back is what determines the speed of the wiper, because it's looking for how much of an obstruction there is on the windshield. So it's not only water that's landing on the windshield, it could be a bug. It could be dust and road debris and stuff. Rain or snow or dirt or any of those other substances can cause the wipers to work. I like the technology of it because I think it's pretty cool, but there are lots of things that could cause an issue with it. But there's always a manual override where you can always go to a low or a high or switch the system off completely. But one of the things about rain sensing wipers is you have to have a very specific windshield for the rain sensor wipers.
Oh, really?
That piece of glass matters. And then the mounting of it matters as well, because they're going to have to remount the rear view mirror and the sensor that's looking through the glass. And the other the other issue with it now, when they replace your windshield, Houston pretty famous for cracking windshields with rocks, chips, and stuff. So now when they replace your windshield, they have to bring a computer in to recalibrate the windshield wiper, rain sensing wipers.
Oh my God.
So 20 years from now, is somebody going to make that piece of glass that's designed for your rain sensor wipers in your 2022, whatever it is?
But you can override it, right?
Yeah, you can turn the system off and just have a manual wiper system. So, replacing your windshield, again, is going to require a computer to make the calibration to it. And we've talked with Dale Holquist at Elite Glass and Trim about this a number of times.
My first Cadillac, I had the windshield replaced, and they cut it. They cut all the wires. They had to replace all that. They had to replace the headliner.
Oh, gosh.
It was a mess.
But that wasn't Dale Holquist.
No.
Okay.
For, $25 deductible, they replaced like $3,000 worth of stuff. Incredible.
Geniuses.
Yeah, because, he told us some of those windshields are thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's because the technology in the glass, you've got, you not just rain sensing wipers, you have some of these radar cruise control systems that are looking through the windshield, the automatic collision brakes, all of those things. The glass of the windshield is very critical to make sure it's done correctly. And, will they make that same piece of glass the same way 20 years from now?
Oh, somebody will. It may be over in China, but somebody will make it.
Well, there's different variations of glass, too.
Yeah.
There's different compounds that they make them up with.
And then different because the windshield is a sandwich piece of glass. There's an outer piece of glass, there's a middle piece of plastic, and then there's an inner piece of glass. And there was actually a point in time that a few cars had an inner piece of plastic as well,
like a liner.
that was trying to stop the shards of glass injuring the passengers. So glass technology, though it looks the same, changes quite frequently.
Yeah.
That you made that pretty clear.
So
Well, thank you
you're welcome.
for that.
The
Glad you noticed. Well, do we want to move on to something else?
Can we?
Sure.
We've had lots of distractions
Well,
here.
yeah.
Well, for the 45th year, the Ford F-Series pickup truck is the best-selling vehicle
That's
in the
no
industry.
surprise.
Beating out both Chevy Silverado, Sierra combined, as well as beating out Ram truck. They sold 726,000 Ford F-Series trucks in 2021.
I know a guy that just bought one. Had a V8 engine in it. It does not have crank windows, but it's a stripper model because they all have electric windows now. But he is absolutely in love with this and paid, I don't know, $32,000 for it.
That's not a bad price at all.
Well, I mean, it's a stripper model.
but
But still, you're in a Ford F-150 that'll last. I told him, I said, you'll be dead and that truck will still be on the road. Well, I don't mean to be morbid about it, but seriously.
What was the number that they sold?
726,000.
Why is it always a round number like that? Why
Well,
is it?
726 and 4. I rounded
Okay,
it off.
all right.
So I had an interesting feature here, and this actually came out right about Christmas time when everybody was on the road to Grandma's house or Aunt Mary's or wherever it was. And it was, according to you, this is from Haggerty, according to you, the essential road trip snacks.
Oh.
You got to have snacks on a road trip.
Okay.
Now, when you think of a road trip and think of a snack, what would be your one or two or three, however many would you take with you on the road?
I'd want something sweet, and I'd also want something else salty,
Crunchy.
So I'm actually a bit of a fan. I don't eat them now, but on a road trip are those little peanut butter and cheese cracker things.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then you're going to need something to drink because you have to wash that cracker down.
Well, let's go over these.
All right.
Because I think that's off to a good start. Okay. So, Team Sweet. Chocolate candy, big winner in the camp, with standard candy bars making a number of appearances in the survey. In a hot climate, however, chocolate can spell disaster for your fingers and eventually your steering wheel and or upholstery, the artificial solution to the predicament, M&M's.
Yes! I was peanut M&M's specifically.
Or
Brownie M&Ms.
Or how about Bucky's Beaver Nuggets?
Bucky's Beaver Nuggets.
I've never had a beaver nugget.
Oh, my God.
No,
Yeah.
I've never had one.
Well, it's kind of like Kix, but with a honey coating on it.
Yeah.
Team Salty. The MVP here was clearly beef jerky as the popular protein packed
It's
snack.
another Bucky's stop.
This is all
It's
Bucky.
sponsored by Bucky's.
As the popular protein packed snack tends to be a lot less messy than chips, Fritos. Another suggestion.
I'd go with Fritos.
But the problem there lies with the honey barbecue flavor twist.
Chili.
The undisputed best flavor despite fierce competition from chili cheese.
Or Cheetos.
No, Cheetos another finger
How about
orange thing.
pretzels
Yes.
Yep.
and bags of snack mixes? Another excellent way to go. And they're easy to handle and not messy.
Like a trail
Yeah,
mix.
but you end up with them all over the floor.
How about Team Both?
Okay.
Several proponents in the community that advocated for mixing salty and sweet trail mix, combining nuts, raisins, and the road trip stalwart M&Ms. Excellent suggestion. Corn nuts, if your teeth are good.
No,
mixed with M&Ms. Mixed with M&Ms. Another suggestion that seemed strange at first, but I must admit,
Till you bite down on it and you
now
break
we're
3 teeth.
curious. This could be a game changer. And then, Team No Food in My Car. There's that team. Few community members were staunchly opposed to food or beverages in their car, which is fine. Yeah. Just know not to expect an invite from any of these people to ride shotgun. Considering one suggestion of worst road trip snack among this contingent included an alarming allusion to a chili dog incident.
No.
Which, though vague, sufficiently explains cause for caution. People in this no food in my car team prefer roadside stops for food at Wawa. I don't know what Wawa is. Must be something up in
some
the
Yankee
Northeast.
Buc-ee's.
Waffle House.
I'm a fan of Waffle House.
Now, I don't like their
I
bacon.
haven't been there for years.
Whataburger, and presumably other less alliterative locations.
So you can go through the drive-thru, you get a
Alliterative.
large fry and an unsweet tea, and you're good.
Have you tried the new Wendy's fries?
No.
Yes.
They're actually pretty good. We know they
Yeah.
tout the fact that they're better than
Guaranteed
M&M's.
to be hot.
Better than McDonald's.
Yeah. Kathy and I had some
But
about
they're
a
supposed
week
to be
or so ago.
guaranteed to be hot.
And they are.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah, they got the crispness.
Because there is nothing worse than a cold French fry.
Nothing worse than a limp fry. Nope.
But I'll tell you what, I'll eat every one of them if I'm hungry. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because listen, I am the cold food kind of guy.
I'll tell you, my favorite fry, though, is Chick-fil-A. Those waffle fries, oh, man. They are the best ketchup delivery device. I need a Chick-fil-A fry and Whataburger spicy ketchup.
Well,
you
I
get
tell you do that, and then I'm going to stop at Five Guys and get a bag full of their fries.
Did
Oh,
you try the new ketchup?
No, the hot sauce
The
ketchup.
second version, second. I was there and they only let me have one. Can I get two? No. Get out.
Are you
Only have one.
serious?
Yes, only one. You could have 14
It's
bags
a
of
supply-
fries
it's
and
a supply chain
and 6
issue.
hamburgers, and you only get one of the new
From where?
Whataburger.
Well, that's BS because you
The
can
one
go to,
over here by the house.
You
over
can
here.
you can go right down here to the
H-E-B.
grocery store HEB and
But they
buy
don't sell.
bottles of
Not
But
it.
they
the new
don't
one.
sell the new one. They just released a new hot sauce ketchup.
That's only limited
they
time.
have the-
Limited to, they call
They
it.
have the black top spicy ketchup, and now they have a white top
with
hot
a picture
sauce ketchup.
of Conrad on it.
So, do you eat in your car?
Yes.
I eat in my car. Do you eat in yours?
Occasionally.
You? Yes, sir. You do?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to ride with somebody who says I couldn't eat in their car, especially if you're in Virginia in the winter and you're stuck for 19 hours because your idiot governor isn't smart enough to send out help and clean the roads.
And you're in an EV.
And you're in an EV. Buzz.
Buzz Tiberius.
Buzz Tiberius.
Buzz Tiberius.
All right. I want to get some headlines in.
Now that we're back on the air.
BMW wants to let you change the color of your car with the touch of a button. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
Automaker has debuted a concept vehicle called the BMW iX Flow, based on the iX SUV, which uses electrophoretic technology to change colors from black to white or combine black and white in a kaleidoscope of graphics across the surface of its body.
So it comes with
BMW worked
standard
with a company
insurance.
called E-Ink to develop the application for vehicles. E-Ink developed the technology used in Kindle readers and commercial displays for such brands as Sony and Amazon. That is very cool. If you haven't seen it, go online. There's a thing on Facebook. You can see it.
Change colors.
Yeah, and it is truly amazing. It's a wrap, basically, a wrap of paint.
That's
but
electrically ignited to change colors.
It is. It is really
that's
cool.
Good description.
Thank you.
Let's see. Stellantis, who plans to launch its first battery electric vehicle by 2025 and do away with internal combustion engines by 2028.
Goodbye, Hemi.
That's the end of that.
Goodbye, Hemi.
Nah,
Brick
they'll still
Road.
make
Goodbye.
that. They'll still make that.
Well, hopefully we'll have somebody from Dodge next week or the week after, and we're going to ask them specifically.
Specifically?
Specifically. That's on the left coast, specifically. Tesla aims to start initial production of its much-anticipated Cybertruck by the end of the first quarter of 2023.
A little late.
Pushing back plans to begin production late this year. A person familiar with the matter told Reuters on Thursday. Person said the delay comes as Tesla's changing features and functions of the electric pickup to make a compelling product as competition heats up in the segment. My dog, Suze,
I just put her on
down
she's
here.
there.
She's pulling this.
She's pulling the.
She's making a nest down there, and
She's got the cover.
It's all going to come down.
She's taking the tablecloth and your computer with her.
Mike, next week we'll put
So
a
you
GoPro
heard
on her.
Ford is trying to limit dealership markups on the F-150 Lightning. They're seeing some dealers are charging a $30,000 market adjustment for the F-150 Lightning that's to come.
Well, you butted in, and because I was going to combine the story about Tesla's Cybertruck factory in Texas, where they're going to make the thing, with a 19-year-old security researcher claims to have hacked remotely into more than 25 Tesla cars in 13 countries, saying in a series of tweets that he discovered a software flaw in the company's systems.
Duh.
David Colombo, I like that name, a self-described information technology specialist, we call them geeks, tweeted Tuesday that the software flaw allows him to unlock doors and windows, start the cars without keys, and disable their security systems. Colombo also claimed he can see if a driver is present in the car, turn on the vehicle's stereo sound system, and flash their headlights. The teenager did not reveal the exact details of the software vulnerability, but said it was not within Tesla's software or infrastructure, and added only a small number of Tesla owners globally were affected. His Twitter thread elicited a robust response with more than 800 retweets.
I understand he drives a Peugeot 504 as well.
Why is it always Tesla getting picked on? Why don't they do something to like a Renault?
Well, I'd be afraid of jacking with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
He'll get one of them satellites up there to vaporize your butt.
We send him up in one.
Well, I think that didn't he put a Tesla in space?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And faced with a $22,600 bill to replace the battery on his Tesla Model S, a Finnish man decided to blow up the car instead. Oh. And he did, and that too is on YouTube with all the sticks of dynamite around it, and they show the car going poof, and it just vaporizes basically. It's a really cool video. So look for that on YouTube. We're going to wrap up today's show right after a quick break.
You're invited to the event of the year. The Houston Auto Show and Houston Boat Show are getting hitched. January 26th through the 30th at NRG Center. The Auto Show and Boat Show unite for the first time ever. Take a test drive, board your dream boat, check out the latest and greatest models. One ticket gets you into 2 great events. The Houston Auto and Boat Show, January 26th through 30th at NRG Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Because of inclement weather, the Tailpipes and Tacos December Cruise-In was canceled. Darn it. But when it returns in the spring, expect a new and exciting way to enjoy the gathering. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's unique Saturday morning cruise-in, and with a new quarterly format, you'll have more time for car mods and to get ready for cruise-in trophies. Yup, you can compete for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and more. And the top car will be featured on a full-size poster that'll be used to promote the next event. Bragging rights are guaranteed here. Tailpipes and Tacos wants to thank all participants and visitors who made the event an exclusive, fun gathering of unique cars, trucks, hot rods, and lots of muscle. And we know you'll enjoy it even more in 2022. Tailpipes and Tacos will still be held at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, just south of I-10 at Kingsland Boulevard on 99, the Grand Parkway. Stay tuned right here to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we'll tell you the exact date for the next event. Until next time, be sure to visit the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, where you'll find the best fajitas this side of California. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. Well, guess what?
What?
That's a wrap for another episode of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Hey, when you're on our Facebook page, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features, along with all things automotive, all week long. There'll be some fun stuff in there for you, too, along with upcoming events. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central. 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet 7 days a week. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Manager and the Video Technical Director today is We Need More, Jeff Zeek.
We do.
For Booking Agent and Podcast Man with his Oklahoma shirt on,
Woohoo!
Mike Out of This World Mars, his royalty, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for joining us. Today's show was produced by the Spirit of Harley Earl.
Oh.
Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe. We look forward to seeing you next Saturday, January 22, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Take care yourself. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.